building it so that they can interrogate terrorists or whatever the hell. I mean, that's where your mind would go in terms of why the hell somebody would make this $47 billion cube of death to murder people. It's like the only thing.
Yep, Scaramanga's not doing it. Scaramanga. Now, maybe this could be a Belko project type thing. Have you seen the Belko project?
I did not. Break it down.
So, in the Belko project, there's 130 buildings across the world. And what happens is they bring in like close to 90 or 80 employees. And what they say is you have these chips in your head and you have to kill each other. So everybody in each building has to kill each other. And if they don't, 10 people's heads explode. So it's just this big experiment. But you know, you move everybody to a foreign country, you give them hotels, you give them jobs, you set up fake things, you build an entire massive building in kind of third world countries where no one notices, you build massive steel shutters, you have a private army, you have tons of Wi-Fi, equipment, computers all around the world. So you're spending billions on an experiment. The first phase, you're moving into the second phase. So this could either be, I think exactly what you said. I think it's just a government thing.
It's to collect money, man. It's a boondoggle. I mean, we got fighter jets right now that cost $30 billion to fight where? You know what I'm saying? Somebody's getting money off of this. That's all it is. It's not Republican, Democrat, left or right. It's about paper. So somebody is skimming government cash and they made this cube. Well, why should we make this cube? What's the pitch meeting for the cube? Well, why do we need to think? Well, have you ever wanted a room that just moves?
Like, wait. Yeah. So they had to establish that in the 70s, 80s?
Yeah.
Like, when did they come up with this idea to build?
You got what? COINTELPRO. That's been going back decades, but not COINTELPRO. MK Ultra. The idea that you can brainwash people into eventually killing people. The whole basis for the Manchurian Candidate. Great movie also. Both of them.
And American Ultra, which I don't hate.
Yeah. So all of this conspiracy shit ends up in the reasoning behind the cube. That's why you can't sit and think, why would they make the cube? Because you know why they make it? Because they can. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And they did.
And they did. That's right. That's it. That's all you need to know. So they could torture people. But isn't it easier to torture people with waterboarding? Not if you're a sociopath.
And do you think this was made during the 80s when some guy was just loaded up on cocaine? You know, the stereotypical cocaine guy?
This is beyond cocaine. This is like reds and blues and greens, man. This is over the top.
So late 70s, some guy is just bombed out of his mind, right?
Just out of his gourd. Out of his gourd. You got to use that phrase.
And he...
Dude, I'm out of my gourd. Okay, listen. Here's what we're gonna do. Okay, look, we're gonna torture people, right? Okay, but we're not just gonna tie them down to. What we're gonna do? We're gonna make sarcophagus. Okay, and we're gonna take the sarcophagus, and we're gonna put them in a room. Like that's the conversation. That's the conversation.
Now, what's Third Eye Blind song do you think they listened to when they came up with this idea? Do you think Never Let You Go? I'll never let you turn around. Do you think that one? What Third Eye Blind song were they listening to when they came up with this? What do you think it would be?
Listen,
can I graduate? How's it going to be? Oh,
I'm going back to the old standby. Everything can be done to semi-charm kind of life.
You know. What about how's it going to be?
Break it down for me. How do we work? How's it going to be?
How's it gonna be when you don't love me anymore?
Okay.
So maybe maybe the guy's depressed and he just is a sociopath and he wants to put his mind on something else.
That's right. And he thinks of a cube, but wait a minute. Why don't we put cubes inside of this cube? Oh, and by the way, inside of one of these cubes, we should just have, an acid trap. How about that? Or a sound activated spike room. That is why we need, yes, absolutely. And heroin.
So it's either all right, so this is you get to pick. How's it going to be or Never Let You Go? Or Semi-Charm Life. Because that's all about drug use. So Semi-Charm Life.
I feel like everything Third Eye Blind did was about drug use and or some kind of depression that the girl next door did not respond positively to your constant stalking attempts. But
the sky was rose. It was gold. I was taking snips up into my nose and I wish I could get back.
Because clearly you can see... the whole music video to this put down the Semi-Charm kind of life. You got the guy in the corner, 2, 3, I'm telling you, man, it works for everything.
I bet you when you go to concert and you watch this, they go 1, 2. They don't even do the 3, then they jump into it.
That's it. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So that's what they do. They're insane.
Because, I mean, Semi-Charmed Life is all about the downfall and the drug use, but they make it happy. So these guys are out of their mind. They're out of their gourds.
That's right. They're out of the gourd.
I'm losing my mind.
Okay, so after, all right. Now, every time they go into a red room, remember the room's got to be red, okay? Not pink, not blue, not mauve, not chartreuse. Red, okay? We need it to be red.
And we need amber in there. I bet you it took them 3 years to pick the 5 colors. Because there's so many people who had, like, so it started off with a list of 7,000 colors, because everyone had to get their colors in there.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And then there were several there are several shootings and court martials. They narrowed it down to 8.
And then somebody pulled out a Pantone book and it was over. You know what I'm saying? They started messing with that RGB and shit went cray. Okay, this is red, but it's not red enough. Okay, I need a little bit more green in the background. What do you mean green? You said you wanted red. No, I want red, okay? Look, I'm out of my gourd.
Have you not seen a Wes Anderson movie? Have you not seen Grand Budapest Hotel? He uses purple, but it's not purple.
It's not purple. It's not plum. It's not peach.
I don't know what it is. Middle. Yep. It's not
give me what I want.
It's not exactly red. Well, what do you mean not exactly red? I don't know, crimson or some shit.
Dude, do you understand this is the cube? We're talking about the cube, man. Okay, I'm out of my gourd. This is the cube. Exactly. Yeah, that's right, the rage. Just the weightlifting rage. Yeah, cube.
This is where we're building it. We can't build it here. This is where we're doing it.
That is the next question. Where the hell is this cube? Because at the end of the movie, you see that unfortunately, when they drop Holloway, when Quentin drops Holloway, she falls into the abyss, brother.
Oh yeah.
That's not just like a hole. There's no end to that woman is still falling as we speak.
You never hear her land.
Where the hell is this cube? It can't be underground, right?
New Mexico.
It can't be. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Like, you watch that Godzilla movie with the Mutos, and then there's, like, it's gotta be, alright, you can't build this in New York. You can't build this in DC. You can't build this in California. It's gotta be New Mexico, Arizona, somewhere.
One of those states where nobody lives, like Wyoming.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on there, Jed? Well, they've been digging in the ground for a while. As long as they don't mess with my sorghum crop, I figure, okay. No one lives in Wyoming. So, yeah, probably, let's say Wyoming.
Underneath my cattle ranch is a 1 million square foot.
Oh, man. Well, Timmy said he was going back to get his Frisbee, but I guess he must have fallen in the cube.
See that hole over there that says free candy? Don't look in it.
Don't look in that candy roll. There ain't no candy there.
He looks like Vince McMahon. This is the way I'm picturing this guy.
Rage and steroids. That's right.
Like they have to give him metal chairs because he just broke all the wood.
That's what it is. He bends it right over your back as he slaps you with it at violent speed. Absolutely.
I guarantee you that in this fictional world, he's like the president's brother. Or he's someone that's high ranking, but that's a total bozo, but you just can't say anything to him. Does that make sense?
This does make sense, man, because I know how that type of guy, man. Yep. Okay, so what do you think? What's your opinion? Well, I think we should probably do it this way. No, I don't think that.
You're fired.
You get the hell out of my face. You're a piece of crap. Yeah.
Listen to the song on the way out. Semi-charmed kind of live.
And don't forget the cube. The cube.
He probably dug the first hole and dug 30 feet in the ground the first night, that general. Like, you just have to do one. Like, it's a ceremonial thing.
I mean, literally, there's a whole prequel ready to be made about where do we put this friggin' cube?
I want to see the real estate land developer. Like, Matt Damon's trying to fight it because he thinks they're fracking. But, no.
Eminent domain. It's eminent domain, yeah.
Like, I want to see the real estate agent who got this contract. Like, they're banking.
Clearly. So what is it exactly that you were thinking of doing with this land? Well, we want to build a massive sarcophagus, and within that sarcophagus, we want to put 17,576 cubicle rooms with which to torture our dissidents and political uprising folk. That sounds great. I think you could put a little mauve table right over there. You know,
And we're gonna need
Absolutely.
a nuclear power plant to power this thing.
And we need gel. We need a lot of gels so that we can change colors.
You know any good light guys?
Where is it that you're getting your face burning acid these days? Because
Yeah.
I've got a guy. I've got a guy.
Do you need to keep it cool in this container? Do you need to find the most secure piping so it won't spread all over your cube?
You know, I've looked at your spike specs, and I gotta tell you, I know somebody else that can really get those spikes as sharp as you need. You know,
Yeah.
because you don't want to kind of just penetrate skin. You want to go straight through the bone. You know what I mean?
I owed some guys in Boston money once, and they busted out these spikes. I'll never be the same. Like, you should call them. All right, so hey, how about this? Let's take a break. We'll call those guys in Boston, and when we get back, we'll talk more Cube.
Cube.
Trying to laugh. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Cube!
Ah, the cube. Ah.
We're going here. We're going in Wyoming. No, wait. Do you think one of the guys owned a massive cattle ranch out there, and he's like, just build underneath my cattle ranch?
Listen, I don't care what you do, but if you kill one of my cattle, we're gonna have some problem.
That's right. So they had to like dig a full tunnel under the ground.
Yeah,
They had to
yeah.
get a boring machine that was used to do the tunnel, and they
Right.
bored a hole into
Right.
the ground, and then that's how they supplied everything
Correct.
to the cube.
And consider each side of the outer shell is 430 feet long, 434 feet long. So they need a 430 feet cube-shaped room that they can then stick the cube into that has enough space so that when we drop poor Holloway, she never hits the bottom.
That's crazy. She
It
would
is insane.
you would have heard a thud.
Mhm.
So by that logic, they found the portal to hell, or the portal
Basically.
to, somewhere. 'Cause-
Basically, that place in that episode, the baseball episode with the Simpsons, when Ozzie Smith falls down the hole,
yeah.
that's what they found. They found that particular area, that endless pit. Yeah. Yeah.
And not Homer falling down the hill.
Well, unfortunately, he gets to the bottom.
Now,
But yeah,
would you have wanted to hear her splat?
I mean, the true horror of sound is no sound.
Yep.
That's why the beginning of this movie snags you immediately, because the first victim of the cube, you don't hear anything for so long until you hear shing, and then he just gets hit with the cheese grater.
It had me until the cheese grater folded up. I didn't like that.
Well, you know what? That's to show you that the method to this madness.
Yeah.
The cheese guy, he's disappointed when he hears this podcast that you didn't like the folding, because he designed that for a long time in his room in Saskatoon.
The widgets. Now, let's talk Quentin, because
Go ahead.
you made a great point about how he became full fascist. And while watching this movie, so in the beginning, he's definitely coming across as the alpha. He does take charge immediately. He does, however, ask things democratically. He does ask, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? However, through the course of the movie, he does, oh yeah, we'll get dinner. And he does kind of start giving weird looks. He starts kind of doing that, and he says his wife is dead, but she left him because he had like 3 kids and she couldn't take it.
Yeah. He comes across as a wife beater by the time the movie's over.
Yeah, so his heel turn is it sudden? Because for me, so we talked, I don't want to bring it up. But Daenerys, I don't think her heel turn is that sudden, but they talk about it over seasons, right?
Yeah.
But his heel turn, I don't know, he just went pretty crazy pretty quick. Did he not, or no?
Well, I feel that it was one of those moments in the movie, because they run into about 2 or 3 points in the movie where they realize, oh shit, we're never going to get out of this thing.
Yeah.
And it was one of those movies. It was one of those points in the film where, again, we find out, oh man, the prime number thing is actually not working with the traps. We're probably all going to die. And then they find out again, oh snap, if we just stayed in the room in the first place, we would eventually get to the bridge. And so between that, he put a lot of he also put a lot of faith in the Wren, because he knew that he was an escape artist.
Yeah.
And when he sees the Wren go down, that's one of the clicks in the Tumblr for him. That's one of the clicks right there that, hey, we might not get out. I might have to go back to being just street cop, because it's not often that you get to see, especially African American. He's Canadian, maybe, but you never get to see fascist black cop in the vein of the KRS-One song, Black Cop, Black Cop, Black Cop. But he absolutely turns full black cop in this movie. And He's flirting with
Levin.
Levin. Thank you. He's flirting with Levin, and Levin is flirting back.
Oh, for
what it's
sure.
worth.
Yeah.